Many years ago, when Sasuke first donned the black and red robes of the Akatsuki in the Naruto manga, many fans were shocked and some were outright outraged. Sasuke Uchiha had joined the Akatsuki, the very same organization who was hunting down Naruto. As we all know, Sasuke's affiliation with the organization was only short-lived, but for a while, Sasuke still carried the burden of having once been a member of that group. That's why after the Naruto War ended, it was still very clear that Sasuke felt conflicted about his time being in the Akatsuki. In today's video, I plan to share with you all the very first moment when Sasuke was on his journey for redemption that he came face to face with the true evils of the Akatsuki, and it caused him shame as he looked at the legacy of the Akatsuki. The information I'm about to share with you all comes from the Naruto epilogue novel, Akatsuki Hidden, Evil Flowers in Full Bloom. It's in this novel that we see Sasuke on his journey for redemption. In the scene I'm gonna read you guys a passage from, Sasuke has just reflected on his own fall from grace, acknowledged and accepted Sakura's love for him, and has just been overwhelmed by memories of his dead brother Itachi. Emotionally, Sasuke was already in a pretty tricky place. Seeing the young brothers who he watched train caused him to think of his own training with Itachi and many precious memories of his dead brother. It's shortly after this that Sasuke announces that he's gonna leave the two brothers that we see Sasuke get confronted head on by the crimes of the Akatsuki, and he's forced to look at the legacy of the organization right before he joined it right in the eye. It's here I'm gonna begin reading selected lines from the scene, and I'll come back to you guys with analysis to break down what we just read, and it's here I'm gonna begin quoting. It's the Akatsuki. That's what Sasuke heard from the little boy's mouth. Akatsuki, Sasuke thought. His body froze at even hearing the word. No, silly, it's not the Akatsuki. Akatsuki is not the evening. It means the light of dawn, the older brother said softly to correct the words of his young brother. The young light of dawn might look like the color of the sun setting. Reflexively, Sasuke let out a laugh. However, he noticed the little brother's expression was not clear. It showed some sort of suffering. Sasuke watched silently as the little boy clinged to his older brother. From the valley bottom, cold wind blew upward. Petals are blown into the western sky. The older brother stroked the head of his younger brother as he saw the empty west sky be dyed red. Our family was killed by the Akatsuki. The words that came out, they unpeeled Sasuke's eyes with sudden sadness. Suddenly, he was aware of the rainbow red color that reflected in the sunset. It reminded him of the black clothing with a similar red pattern that looked like the color of blood spurting from the form of a red cloud pattern. His brother had died. The big brother instead had a dark, heavy sinking look, and it didn't go unnoticed by Sasuke. It turns out this was their story. This was their legacy, the story of the Akatsuki. End quote. Even if you hate Sasuke as a character, you have to admit, having Sasuke come face to face with two orphans, brothers who reminded him of himself and Itachi, is pretty intense. The older brother reminded him of Itachi, the younger brother reminded him of himself. These orphans lost their family to the Akatsuki, murdered in cold blood. It's something that Sasuke gets affected by immediately. Go back to when he first heard the name of the Akatsuki being mentioned. Sasuke's body froze. At this point, Sasuke is clearly more than strong enough to defend himself against any physical threat. Keyword being physical. No matter how powerful he becomes, he can't protect his emotions and the shame that he feels. His body freezing is a way of showing Sasuke's guilt and shame. Earlier in the chapter, Sasuke is thinking about his journey to the point where he's currently at in his life, having to redeem himself for his crimes. One of his crimes is being a member of the Akatsuki. Most Naruto fans forget something very specific about the Akatsuki. They did more than just hunt down the Jinchuriki. They also took on various missions that the 5 great nations couldn't afford to send their own shinobi on because these missions were too dark in nature, and there were some missions that the 5 nations couldn't be afforded to be attached to. Onoiki even says as much during the 5 Kage summit when he owns up to the fact that he's employed the Akatsuki at various points to do the dirty work that couldn't be traced back to his village. Akatsuki took on odd jobs from whoever and did whatever to get them paid because gaining resources was was also part of their plan, which was stated by Pain when he explained their end goal to Hidan in the Naruto Shippuden anime, or if you read the Naruto manga, around volume 40 of the Naruto manga. Families, innocent families, were killed on some of these missions because it might have been ordered by a client. Then the Akatsuki, they had to do what they were told. Look at Sasuke's laugh and the older brother as he explains the difference between dawn and sunset. It's a defense mechanism for Sasuke to laugh. Laughing can be used as a way to disassociate yourself from a very uncomfortable situation. And make no mistake, for Sasuke, knowing that these two young brothers were orphans due to the fact that the Akatsuki possibly killed them, including his brother, is something of an uncomfortable situation for Sasuke in this moment to even think about Itachi having been responsible for these young boys being orphans. Look at that passage. Sasuke has an internal monologue that likens his black robes that he's wearing in the red sunset to the Akatsuki robes, which is symbolic. It's showing that he's thinking about his time as a member. It's during that time that he notices the older brother being overwhelmed by dark anger, much like Sasuke was when he first learned of Itachi's crimes. Sasuke is written as having his eyes being peeled back with sadness very suddenly, another sign of his empathy for the orphans, but also for his guilt. Later on in the passage, it says that this is the story of the Akatsuki, which is another nod to the fact that there was more to the Akatsuki than hunting down the tailed beast. For Sasuke to encounter these young boys as he continues his journey for redemption, it shows that some of the burdens that Sasuke must carry as he seeks atonement aren't just the sins that Sasuke committed, but also the very sins of those he was affiliated with. So what did you guys think? Do you want more videos covering the Akatsuki Hiden novel, which both covers Sasuke's road to redemption and the lost tales of the Akatsuki teams? That's it for my video today, guys. Don't forget to comment, rate, subscribe, and share. Have an awesome day, guys.